Well, over the past few years, we've had a rough go of things with trees around here. We've been losing quite a bit of our white firs, and even some of our cedars that have been here for years are starting to die off. So we have one that we love right by the house, kind of in a tricky spot, but it really needs to come down before it becomes a danger. So I'm gonna have to follow that between power line and our pump house, trying to hit anything. So hopefully all goes well today. Yellow jackets moved in when the sparrows moved out. I don't know if you can see up in there, there's a few hanging out. So this tree is also showing some signs that it might be not too healthy. It's right in the driveway as you drive in, so we're hoping it lasts. We're supposed to get more rain this winter than we have in the past, so we'll see if she comes back or not. But in the meantime, we'll probably get at least a couple more years out of it, so I'm gonna rehang this over here. Looks like there's actually a dead bird in there. I'm gonna go ahead and pull that nest out in case there's anything weird going on in there, and we'll let them rebuild next year. Well, sometimes things don't go according to plan. My saw's been running a little bit rough. It's needed a tune-up, and it's decided to not want to cooperate. So I actually had two more small trees. I just took them down with the skilled saw because my saw died in the middle of that, and I got it rerunning. It doesn't want to run outside. It's being cantankerous. So time for a new spark plug and an air filter. I've cleaned the air filter a lot of times, and it's just, I think it's past the point of saturation. So gonna limb this up real quick with the Sawzall and get the tractor, just shove it out of the way and head to town. And looks like it's gonna be saw maintenance tonight. have to make sure that the cats are rounded up before we start falling trees. They're just so curious that they're always into everything we do. So round them up before we start falling anything and keep them from being kitty pancakes. I think I know why chainsaw Crocs and socks aren't a thing. Forgot to put my boots on before I started falling these trees, and yeah, bunch of pokey sawdust in my shoes. Well, just tinkering with the chainsaw and just kind of pulled some stuff apart. It appears that there's a bolt missing right here. This is the carb on the back, so I'm thinking that maybe it's allowing improper air mixture in here. If I wiggle it a little bit, there's a little bit of separation right there. See if I can rob a screw off of something else. I'm not sure which size it needs to be, and maybe we can get this thing back together. All right, just pulled the fuel filter up and out of this thing. Everything looks good with it. I'm not 100% sure what's going on. This is one of those, actually maybe I should check that. It's one of those, boy, it's late. It's electronically controlled. So maybe I'll pull that off, make sure nothing's loose or flopping around where that little sensor mates up to the flywheel. All right, I've checked all the easy stuff, so I think I gotta take this thing to the shop. It's been a few years, but they can go over it with a fine-tooth comb and make sure everything's looking good. I think it's been 4 or 5 years since this thing's been in the shop, so we'll get it in there and see if they can figure out what's going on with it for me. All right, well, my saw is actually back together. I've been tinkering with that a bit. I think I got it sorted out. I went ahead and drained all the fuel out of the tank. Checked the fuel filter in there, it was fine. Nothing weird going on in there. This was the very last of the fuel. This was the very last of some fuel that we'd gotten. I just ran 1.5 gallons of the same fuel through it. And we were just working off the last little bit of it. And so I don't know why that would be causing some issues. But anyhow, I went down and got some 50-to-1 mix. Just in case it was bad fuel, put that in there, tighten the screw down on the carb that was allowing some air in there. Anyhow, I just fired it up and she seems to be running good, so stumbled a little bit and then twisted it all around through all the range of motions that it was bogging down in, and it seems to be running good now. So hopefully we just had a little bit of bad fuel in there. So I went down and I got a fresh 6-gallon jug of fuel. Be running the wood splitter and a bunch of stuff going on here as we're putting up our firewood for the winter. So just out of precaution, I'm just going to go ahead and toss the rest of this fuel into my scrub fuel, and we'll use that for starting fires and stuff. So good news is the steel's back in action.